Follow the desk. Follow where the wires go. Where the wires go will tell you where the treasure is. Khadas tone board. Okay, so this probably was the most requested thing I review in the last year. Nah, maybe not last year. But people have been on my dick. Have you seen the Khadas tone board? It's only $99. It's so good. Oh my god. And you're wondering why I've got a raw circuit board on my desk. And that's because the Khadas tone board is designed for VIMs, and a VIM is a thingy thing, and then you plug it into another thingy thing. Look, I'm not going to explain it. It does look rather cool when it's attached to like a stack of other things. And there's one where it's got like a heat sink under it. And they're like, tone board works perfectly with heat sinks, cooling fans, and VIM boards. I don't know how well it would work if you're putting something with a high electronic noise on it, because it's not shielded in any way. I mean, you'd put it in a case. I've got a couple things on my desk. My laptop, that's Windows 10. I've got a standalone USB power plug. We'll explain why in a second. Topping D10, which is also around $100, and a DAC. But it's also the only thing in my apartment that will output coaxial digital. We've got the JDS Labs Atom. We've always got my THX 789 with the inputs here. And is that it? Oh, I'm wearing ZMF Aeolus. And here, via special invitation, is the new upgraded headband Advanced Alphas. Look, they don't clamp you to death. And they have thicker pads. So those will be played out and have a review. Might even be a review before this, as that's got a Kickstarter to try to like see how many people are interested in the new headbands. So I may push that. So the Khadas tone board is legit maker-friendly, 2 edition. They got Vim user ones, and they've got this like generic one. I bought the generic one because apparently hearing is believing. Now if you look at the specs, and one of the reasons I bought it is because the total harmonic distortion plus noise is 0.000337, which is a lot. And they probably like left it at 0.0003, would have been fine. But no, 337, because they want to go for that LEAT status. I don't know. I feel like LEAT is in there somewhere. What else we got? Jitter is crazy low. It's got 500 MIPS. It's using a Sabre board at 32-bit. Blah 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 blah. Okay. Here's the issues with getting a Khadas tone board and not like a legit DAC. You get just the board. And they show a picture of it. It comes with, here's the box it comes with. Khadas box. Comes with all these things. So you could solder on the connectors if you want to make it into an actual Vim board. Oh, don't lose things. Don't lose things now. This goes there. That goes there. And it comes with all this other stuff. Let me borrow this other box. They're all just extensions and headers and screw downs and little brass, very nice brass hardware. Honestly, I've taken apart several things and looking really close at the way hardware is put together. And I should unplug this for y'all. Hold on. It'll even do power. Okay. And I don't want to touch it too much. Again, I don't have a wrist strap on or anything. I just keep touching my cabinet. So some of the nicest RCAs I've seen on something. So these are the obviously board mounted RCAs. They're screwed on. They've got thick. Look at these. You can unscrew these. And there's washers. And then suppose you can mount it through a case. And they sell aluminum cases that work for this. But if you don't want an aluminum case, I had the thought. And I was going to do it before this review. And then I went, no. My words are enough. Since it comes with a box that's labeled Khadas anyway, why not take this and literally mount it into the cardboard box? It's just a thought, all right? I'm not saying this is going to be a new trend and Zio's came up with the greatest thing, but if you got a cardboard box, you might as well use it. The only thing a cardboard box won't do is protect you from EMI and shit like that. But you could, I have seen in the pictures they have these little legs here. Actually, they have them put on this way. And then they screw through with these little tiny ass screws, and you make little legs for it, and then you can put the feet on it, and it'll just sit there, and it'll look so cute with its little feet. But really, you should probably put it in an aluminum case. They do sell an aluminum case. All this hardware is nice. put it to the side. I don't want to lose it. This will probably end up in a yard sale. If you don't know, on Patreon from the 1st to the 10th, anyone in the $5 tier or higher gets to buy stuff that I've bought. I bought this, company didn't send it to me. I almost bought it on Amazon. I'll link to the one on Amazon, look at the price there, and then I'll link to the one on Khadas' website, and you look at the price there. So, I mean, the weight of these RCA connectors is just astonishing. They are like solid and beautiful. So they're spending the money on these. These would probably cost $1.50 to $2 a piece to buy raw, and that's if you got like 10,000 in bulk. Super fucking nice. So these exist black, white, and red. These are the outputs, obviously, right and left channel. This coaxial digital is in and out. Now, I can get it to work for an in. I don't have, I guess I could plug it into another DAC for an out for a check, but really that's more stuff you'd be doing if you were hooking it up for the full Vim with the Linux friggin' box and everything else. Nice little solid caps. There's the Saber DAC. It's beautiful. It's tiny. There's one LED. I don't know if you could see it. Let me plug this thing back in. I plug this back in, and obviously if you were mounted this would be the rear. That would be where the power goes. This comes with this very, very nice USB cable. It's a little stiff, and you could probably work out the janks after. I mean, that's like stiff. That's stiff. And it says Khadas on there. I didn't saying it right? All right, so plug that in. There's the white LED. That, just that little, that is the nicest, it's the nicest LED. It's not pointing up, it's pointing forward, and it's a little flat thing, and it's just the white. It's just the whitest little flat thing. It just lives there. So if you did build a box, you'd want that to be exposed so you could see it. There is also headers out for OLEDs and I2S, 8-channel external, which makes me question, this is a surround? This is up to 8-channel processing for HDMI, maybe? And then just this board itself only has, if you're going to use it as it's the board itself, the 2 channels here. And then everything else does everything else. That's not what I review on this channel. You tell me to review DAC. Plug in DAC, make DAC go. So I've got it plugged in. Tears for Fears is now playing there. I'm going to use these nice cables. Device invalidated. Nonsense, the device is plugged in. More Tears for Fears. Alright, now Tears for Fears is playing. I'm going to be real careful grabbing it. You don't want to start squeezing your thumb against things on it. If you do get one of these, grab it by the edge. I'll link to these beautiful cables, which are part of a try to find really good short cables on Amazon Quest, and these are the nicest. Look at how flexible they are. Look at the flexibility of those. This is for people who get the like a shit stack, and they buy the monoprice ones, and those are like 4 inches longer than this and very stiff, and these are like just nice. So let's go here. It's a shame the gold connectors are so giant. You might have problems with other boards. So that's plugged in now. And nothing's playing because my life is a lie. It's just filled with lies. Now let's see. I'll unplug this. I heard it pop. That should error. That errored. Okay, good. Plug it back in. Alright, now the door's playing, so it just doesn't like being plugged into everything and unplugged. So right now, I'm listening on these, on that, through this via USB. And how does it sound, Z? Good is the word. People have said they've been talking about it. They won't shut the fuck up about it. And people have been talking like, well, it's a reference design. When you build a DAC, when you output a chip like this, the actual DAC decoder chip, when Saber or Texas Instruments, they put out a chip, they hand a reference design out that says, if you want this to work, here's how. And it's literally this design. And when you're real creative, you can improve upon their stock design. So the company makes a chip, but do they take into account the power handling and where it is on the board? There's a reason that like you could take what is essentially a $15 DAC chip or a $6 DAC chip, and you can make a DAC out of it that's several $100s, is because everything around the DAC chip you can adjust. You could use better caps. You could move different caps. You could move the power supply off this board into another one. You could use better RCAs than they tell you to use. You can mold it sort of to try to improve upon the reference design. And I think this is just a reference design. Straight up. Oh, this is how you do it? Let's put it on this board. Boom, it's done. Probably better RCAs, but you get the idea. So when I listen to it, it is very clean. Basically noise-free. I'm going to pause there. I don't hear anything coming through. I trust the JDS Labs Atom to do it justice for anything you plug into it. So it's a $100 DAC. Here's a $100 amp. Here's also a $100 DAC that if I plug these RCAs into this, would I hear a difference? I don't know. We could try that. You want to try that in a bit? Fine. First, I'm still playing off the laptop off USB. Now, if I plug the coaxial digital in, now Basement Jacks is playing. Now if I play this, come on, I was doing it before, do it now. If I stop this, that plays. And then if I stop this and play here, well, this doesn't play because my laptop's doing a weird thing. It's doing a weird USB thingy. But I was getting it to go back and forth and back because I'm now using the coaxial digital output of this off of USB because the D10 is only USB in. Reminder, the D10 is USB in only. This you can unplug from a computer, get anything that puts out more than half an amp here. Like that's just that's one from a Google Chromecast back in the day, and then play something here. And now we're listening to, I'm not joking you, steel drums at Christmas, because I was looking for a good recording of steel drums, like Jamaican steel drums, and the only thing I could find via completely legal download on the internet was steel drum Christmas, and it's not recorded that well. This is Sing Me Noel, by the way. So that's the kind of life I lead. I don't know about you guys. Let's unplug that for a second. Lower this. Hello, Advanced Alphas. You've been on my wall. Actually, they're still on my wall. And they should sound basically identical. There's a slight coloration change. I think the blue is probably exactly the same. You just can't see it from the angle. Some of the most beautiful headphones, I still think, if you were like, design me pretty headphones, Advanced Alphas are the ones. But now they don't crush your skull as badly. So let's put those on. I gotta put those on high gain now. Those don't need high gain. These need high gain. Now here's the thing. I was listening to it off this laptop at 32-bit, which is probably what's causing it to be a freak out, because I'm trying to push it at the maximum through foobar. Output. Give that a chance. So it doesn't have a thing, but I'm going to change it off of 32-bit regardless. Get off of there. 24-bit's enough. 24-bit's enough. If you don't know the benefits of going like above 16 to 24 to 32, I'll give you a real quick rundown. And it's not all the benefits, but it's one of the benefits. When you lower the volume on foobar or YouTube or anything that is a digital source, and you lower the volume that's going to your DAC via USB or coaxial or SPDIF, the only way to lower volume, because you're not telling the amplifier to use less voltage, you have to crush the signal. You actually make the signal less. And the only way to make the signal less on a digital thing like a fiber optic or USB is to actually remove bit rate. So you go from if you're at 16 bits and you start lowering the volume on foobar, you'll be 15 bits, 14 bits, 13 bits, 12 bits. And 12 bits does not sound as good as 16 bits, and 16 bit is CD quality. You don't want to come down from that. So if you have the option to be above 16 bits, which I think most of you should be, 24-bit means when you lower the volume, it goes 23, 22, 21, 20, 19. So if you lower the volume and you're at 19-bit rate, that's higher than CD quality, you're still fine. And 32 would give you a little bit more space to lower the volume. That's why when I lower the volume on my TV in the living room, I could do it through foobar because I know it's going out at 24 bits to my mini DSP HD. And if I keep it real low, which is where I'm not really pounding it, I'm still getting like 18, 19 bits through it, so it's fine. Back to this thing. Remember this thing? What did I say I was going to do? I was going to say I was going to plug this into this and see how it sounds. But this is coming off that, which is fine. Actually, what I could do before I get real crazy... Gorillaz, Interlude New World. From Human. No. Idaho? Not a good song. Mac DeMarco? Oh, no. Well, if I play that, I'll be demonetized. Yo, Chuck. Got running mixes. Right, hold on. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, as sort of like a fuck you to myself, is I'm going to take just one channel off. I'm going to put that one channel to here. And that, which is the left channel, skip around a little bit. There's a slight volume discrepancy in the left. The left is a little bit stronger. It's so close, though. This is not how you judge a DAC, by the way. This is not how you judge a DAC, by the way. You do not want to play one DAC in the right ear and one DAC in your left ear and then sharing a signal source. Although, let me share a... Let me share a dream with you. People are always like, oh, how much separation you have between your left and right channels in your amplification system. Well, riddle me this. What if I used a fiber optic splitter, which are pretty much lossless, this is just passing the fiber optic signal. What if I plugged two DACs in, two individual DACs that are stereo DACs, fiber optic into one, split, fiber optic into the other. Now I have two DACs playing the exact same source, the exact same time, the exact same signal. Then what if I took the left channel out of this one and put it into a monoblock amp, and the right channel out of this one put it into a monoblock amp? Then I would have a complete and utter separation of channels because I'm using two DACs and just splitting with fiber optic. I mean, or coaxial digital. I don't know how coaxial digital would work on just a normal dumb splitter. No, fiber optic, you need like an active splitter, which I actually have one. Probably not hanging around here. But that's just a thought. That's one of my thought processes. It's like, what if I split the DAC? What if I had two DACs? Back to the Khadas tone board. It's an interesting little toy. It's definitely clean. It definitely sounds at least as good as other $100 DACs. Hold on. Hold on, let me be real. Actually, you know what I have? I have a really expensive Emotiva RCA switcher. I could probably make it do things here. Or I could just do this. I'm going to ignore it this time. Third time's too many. I'm just going to throwing $1,000 headphones at the car. I have supplied. makes listening with open headphones just... Gee, I wonder why I love the Neumann NDH20s so much. I can't imagine. See, those open headphones are the best. Alright, shh. Ooh, there might be something extra there. Maybe. Could also be a volume difference, because now this sounds louder than that. Am I gonna suck its dick on camera? Probably not. It's too quirky. It's a raw board. I mean, what I would do with this is I would tell you, if you are a... It says designed for makers. Well, let's run with that. Okay, assume you're not using VIMs or anything else. Let's assume you just want a very fucking tiny DAC. You could mount this inside of something. It's a very good DAC. It's a good DAC. I'm going to put it above the entry-level $100 DACs just to appease the world. Okay, fine. Let's say it's slightly better than $100 DACs, but not quite like levels of Element or EL DAC. Hell, I'm not even going to put it next to the Shelly Labs. But let's say it is as good as the Shelly Labs, but obviously not balanced and a little bit more quirky. You could put this in something. I thought about opening this up. How much space do you think is left inside of this? I mean, this is such a small device. You could probably mount it in there. If you didn't have the RCAs, you could solder right to the board. You can get your left and right. Oh, man. Wheels are turning in my brain. Oh, look, I touched it. Giant fucking fingerprint. All right, well, you'll get that when you buy this in the yard sale. I like it. I like the way it sounds. As far as form factor goes, it doesn't have a form factor. Naked. That's you get it? You get the whole... That's the form factor as it doesn't exist. Getting it to work fiber optic in is easy. You power this up, or not fiber optic, but coaxial digital. You push it in. As far as coaxial digital out, I believe when this is playing, that's coaxial digital out, which might be why it was freaking out. Plus, it was switching from input to output. It's a nice thing. I love the little LED, and it's small enough you could shove it in any project you want. Are we done now? Hell, you know what you could do with this? You want to really be boss? You put it in a little metal box, and you mount it inside. This needs a mount for the back panel of a computer. I hate putting things inside computers. They don't need to be in there. But if you just wired to an internal USB, you can go and have a really good output right there. So, okay. Yard sale it is with this. If you don't know about the yard sale, again, join my Patreon, $5, 1st to the 10th. Bid any amount you want. Highest bid wins. It's a blind auction. You won't know till it's over if you've won. You'll get an email and an invoice. I ship for free in the United States. I ship half price shipping to the world. So if you're someplace where you can't buy a Khadas stone board and you join my Patreon and you bid and you win, I'll ship it to you and charge you half the shipping. So you bid $38 on this, and it cost me $174 to ship to Poland. It cost me that much to ship these Ether CXs back to Poland. It was expensive as fuck. Then I'll just charge you the half of 134 plus 34, whatever that comes out to be. You also get to see these reviews about a week early. Maybe a little more. So if there's if it comes live, if you're watching this on YouTube and you're not a patron, and you click the button in the description to go and buy this, and it's not in stock, my 1,100 patrons bought them before you. You might want to get on board that train. There's a train of patrons, and they're buying shit way before anyone else. You also get to ask me any question you want, either on Patreon, which is a little bit sketch because their messaging system sucks and I'm about a week behind, or the $10 tier. If you go one step up, you get into a private Telegram chat with me and about 180 other people, and we just bullshit all day. You got to, like, those patrons are going to know as soon as I'm done with this review how this review turned out. They don't have to wait for anything. They don't have to wait to see a video. They just know from me. I'll tell them with my voice. I'll hit the button on my phone and be like, yeah, this Khadas stone board's pretty fucking good. It's weird to touch and handle, and you have to have a real purpose to have it be like this and not get one of these or a Magni or whatever else is listed in the description. All cheap DACs. Let's give a nice list of DACs in the description of this video. Oh, and these RCA cables, because they're super cute. They're cute and flexible. I wish one was blue and one was red. Then it would be really yummy. But they come with these little rubber bands, which you could actually take off if you felt like, that indicate what's red and black. So there's that, there's these, there's this, there's this, there's that, and there's her. Download her in the description. I will see you guys again tomorrow for another review. Toodaloo? I don't have a sign off. Should it be toodaloo? If you've watched it all the way to the very end, I know some of you have jumped off because what should be my sign off? Maybe I'll use the best one in the comments for one video and we'll give it a test. Right? 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 Good. Also, check out the unboxings. Don't forget about RMAF is coming up, and I'm trying to get a GoFundMe going for that. And if you haven't joined the forums yet, Hi-Fi Guides forums are up, which are run by me and DMS, and any other YouTube reviewers that want to join the forums, feel free to go on there, because there's not a, I want to say safe haven, but if you're crazy, I'm going to be watching you. But yeah, the Hi-Fi Guides forums are up. We'll see you there. Link there in the description.